Okay, so it's 441, which it's like 144. So when I was looking at it, I was like, what? But then I was like, oh, it's 441. So, anyways, so 41. Well, the 411 is information, right? But 144 is supposedly, the frequency of the universe. So, and some of the stuff I was going to talk about, I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe this is what they want. Well, anyways, it's not like I can talk about stuff that they don't want talked about, but it is like there's a lot of information out there you can tap into, because I see people do it all the time, tapping into a certain frequency of information that I think is misleading, which I'm curious about how much information out there is misleading. Like right now, I just woke up, but I woke up from, uh, it was weird, like one of those weird nights, like where I was just totally conked out, and then still woke up, and so it brought me out of this, like I was really out of it. Go over to the door, she had to go to the bathroom, let her out. She comes back in. She lays back down and just starts snoozing away. I lay back down and I cannot get back to sleep. And I'm just laying there tossing and turning, tossing and turning. My mind's going so fast. And I keep trying to, like, I was having a lot of different things about it. Like, you focus on, it's like focusing on what you want isn't supposed to just be where you just sit there and have to play it over and over and over. It's more of like, I don't know. It seems more of like you go through life appreciating things, and it logs in what you like, and it's like your higher self knows. I don't know, because like I'll sit there and I'll start picturing like, oh, I want this, I want that, or something. Like, oh, I'm trying to go back to sleep, so I'll think about like what I want my house to be like, and which I want a yoga room. I did think of that. I want a yoga room in it, because that's one thing I really want, is a room that is set up for stretching. So I have a ballerina pole, and lots of mirrors, and it would definitely have like cool lighting, and I don't know, probably a real zen kind of room, I can see it. It's all like, it's very zen. It very comfortable, but it's a room you can go in and just, reserve a space for reflection. You can stretch, and you can connect with yourself. You can see what your body's doing in the mirrors. You can, it's like a total connection to self, and be able to do your stretching and relaxation and preparation for the day kind of thing. And I was like, man, I want that. Just like I want, man, I'm super wheezy. Yeah, I was sneezing my head off too yesterday. Oh yeah, the sky's been looking so fucking weird. So fucking weird. Like yesterday, it looked so weird, and it looked so eerie to me. And it seems to be building on this weird, eerie sky looking thing, to where I kept going and looking out and looking up at it, thinking, it's gotta be something's gonna go down in the sky. It's just gotta be. It just is like, it's like a draw. It's like a magnet. And I mean, look, even when I drove to the storage thing, because I wanted to look for a couple things, and so I had a different view, and I was like, oh my God, it kind of does look like a giant eyeball watching us. And oh no, it was just really weird looking. I mean, it really gave you that feeling of you're just like a little peon, you're a speck of sand. And so I don't know. I have my third cup here though, but let me finish talking about this, because there's things about all this stuff. I don't know. All this like goes together in my mind. Fuck, I gotta catch my breath. But I don't know what the, I mean, they've been spraying the shit out of this place over here for days and days. I don't know how long it takes to get this stuff down here. And the color of the sky is fucking Cajun orange. Like, it's so fucking crazy looking. So, anyways, let me go back to this other thing. Let me get a swig of this. Hold on. I'm really, really out of it. So I was laying there, I couldn't go to sleep. I'm trying to envision, where I want to go. And then it's like, the same thing as when I was like, well, I could put my energy towards getting a little mobile home, get a little piece of property, and just build from there. And I was like, but why am I limiting myself to that? Why don't I go big? There's lots of things I've put out into the world and it hasn't come back to me yet. So why not take that energy and go big and start thinking, like bigger of what I want? And, big front porch. That's something I was telling Stella yesterday. There was a house I saw on TV, had this huge front porch. And I was like, I want to get a front porch like that. Well, this giant front porch, it'll go around. You'll be able to lay on the front porch and see all over the place because she loves laying on the porch. And, and she doesn't have that here. She goes out and lays in their little section thing. But yeah, that was something she did all day long. And now the weather's getting better. We didn't have the heater on all night. The weather's getting better. And it's just like, I feel, that whole, like we already sprung forward. And I feel like I'm ready to spring, I'm ready to blossom or something, ready to move out of the dirt. And, but then it's kind of like, you're creating like a limitation still. Like, okay, this is what I want right here. This is it. Instead of just being like, well, what do you guys got for me? And so I started seeing that kind of like, yeah. Then it would be like, I manifested it this way or that way or whatever. If I don't just keep putting, this visual to it, this parameter, then it is like, well, let's see what you guys got. I don't know. It was like an epiphany to me. And it is this whole releasing of trying to control things because, I even started looking up the other day about used mobile homes for sale. So I was like, well, I could get something like that and get a piece of because I'm anxious to move on, like out of my one situation and get more settled. But the universe doesn't have that in mind yet, I guess. But because you shouldn't have to force anything. And that's something that just keeps standing out to me. I shouldn't have to force anything. What is mine is waiting for me. Just because it's up there and I can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And one thing I've noticed is when you're going on that, it's a dark kind of path. It's like you can't see everything. And it's like an inner knowing, and you have to just know it in your heart. And you're going towards it by blind faith, by trust, by believing in what you believe in. And you're going towards it, and you can't fully see it. And the people around you, they can't see it at all. And for you to see something and to believe in something that they can't see makes you look foolish. But it's that journey towards it that it builds more trust. It builds a relationship, like you're building a relationship with the universe. And so part of the relationship is like, well, I'm not going to just sit here and tell you exactly, well, I want this room here and I want to walk in, I want to have, because, I like old fashioned kind of houses. Like I love to find like an old, really cool farmhouse, and then, do your own spin on it. Like, because I would have a bedroom that would be a closet. I'd have a bedroom that would be a yoga room, probably like an office room. Like I'd probably set up a room where it was set up to be able to do this. And I would just go in there and it would be like my office room or something. But I want my art studio to be separate. Like I want to be able to go out of the house to do other things and walk around and do stuff. So I want to have my art studio out, and I want it to even be set up where it has different sections, because there's things I want to learn. I want to get a kiln. I feel like I would really be good at doing pottery. I just got to get into it, get an opportunity to learn it and to spend time, messing around with it. I probably want to do some more mosaics and see how I improve on that. I really want to learn how to do stained glass. I want to be able to make my own stained glass windows. And maybe I get good enough, that people want to buy some. That's the thing. You start doing something, you find out you're good at it, and then people want some of what you got, and then you have something that you can sell. So you need these opportunities to push yourself in these directions, to discover yourself and what you're good at. And so that is important to me. Then plus the connection with the animals and stuff. I want to have a barn, and you got to have some things that kind of humble you in this world, that keep you in balance. And so I want to have some animals, where you have to kind of, do stuff for them, even though, like in this little world right now that I have, it's very, it's just out of balance. But oh yeah, what I was going to say is when you're on this kind of darkish kind of path, you are under attack. You're under attack because they don't want you to get to that point of building this relationship of trust and understanding your communication and stuff. Knowing how to follow that light in your chest, that's leading you, this magnet that's leading you to something that you don't know where, you don't know how. And so anyways, in all that stuff, while I'm sitting there thinking of all this stuff, because it was a fucking busy night of thinking, I did start thinking, like, I'm not gonna just put in like go in and envision myself going in each room. And I can kind of picture though, like I love that big thick wood trim, like how they used to do, how everything was made so much better in older houses. They even had the the trim like over the top. I can't remember what that's called, but it's like a lot more ornate and stuff. Like I love those houses. Hold on, let me drink the rest of this real quick. It tasted so good this morning. Oh my god. Hold on. Something just, it was a clove piece, I think, that didn't get chopped up all the way because I had to chop up clove because my cloves isn't going to be here till the end of the month, and all my mom had was real cloves, so I had to grind them up. So that must be what that is. It's never fun. You're taking a drink of something that is liquid and then you get something that's a chunk in it. It's like, what the hell is this, a dead fly? That's happened. Okay, so back to it. So I was being awake and just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and I was trying so hard to get back to sleep. I was getting so frustrated, and the more frustrated you get, the harder it is to get to sleep. So anyways, I obviously fell back asleep, because then once she became uncomfortable again, and she woke me up again, and that is where I have I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the in between or something. And so that's how I feel so out of it. It always gets me, like when that is oil on my hair. I'm putting on my face. But you know that dry shampoo stuff, the dry powder stuff, when I have, is supposed to be like, I don't see shit that, I swear to God, it says natural and all this stuff. And then you go look at the ingredients. It's like, fuck, man, you gotta look all this shit up. It's like, fuck, I just want just plain old ingredients. So, anyways, but that powder, sometimes I feel like it gives me a rash on my head. And it's like, man, if it's giving me a rash, it could be causing more problems with having my hair fall out, which that new biotin stuff I'm getting, I'm supposed to be here Wednesday, and I started doing the zinc And with zinc, you have to use this quercetin or something, as well to make them work together. To make the zinc work, you have to have quercetin or whatever. So, anyways, and that's just a powder supplement that I just put in my tea. Because when I was looking at those, it said, oh, you can just put it in your coffee. And I was like, well, I'll just put it in my tea. And then you take zinc. And I don't know all the different things. It's good for your immune system and stuff. But if your hair's falling out, then it is a sign of a zinc deficiency. And my hair's been falling out. Like I said, my braid, I used to have like two braids. I used to be the size of one braid. And I had two braids. And so now, and it's funny too, because back when my hair was like that, I would bitch about how heavy it was, how it feels like I had a blanket on, like in summer and stuff. So, anyways, but then as soon as it starts falling out, it's like, well, damn, why don't I need my hair back? Like, fuck, what the hell? And so, but I kept on thinking it's like the radiation, the frequency, the chemical, I don't know. But, you know, I can take the zinc, I can keep doing all these detoxing, which cloves is a detoxing thing. But the zinc and stuff do the natural minerals and make sure, you know, that, because that is something we're all super depleted, and we all need to know our own, like, chemical makeup to know what it is we need. And you know, at this point, I guess there's some doctors, if you can find one, that will do labs to see what your mineral deficiencies are. But I don't know, can we even trust the labs? Like, who's running all this shit? It's I don't trust their system. I don't trust it at all. Nothing about it. And so to me, it's just trying to figure stuff out, I guess. But everybody's got to figure, you know, because if you can find a doctor that can tell you, I would make it easier, at least give you some direction. But I don't know. Anyways, that to me, you know, just making sure you're detoxing, and then making sure your lifestyle, you got to have a healthy lifestyle. You can't just go out there and run yourself ragged and party and do all that stuff, and not eat right and drink too much and all that. And then I think you're going to be healthy. It's like there's a lot of people who have become, you know, the world's failing anyways, where the world's ending. I'm just going to go really be indulgent. Well, that indulgent will, when that things turn on, when things flip, then, you know, you're going to have, you know, you'll see the error of your ways, because we're not going to the end. We're going, yeah, it's like the ice wall. It's like it's their parameter. It's their ending. We're going further. We're going on. We're moving on. And so it's the ending for them, but it's not for us. It's the ending of the energy that is at that vibration, this dark energy, this heavy, dense energy. I mean, so many people carry it. So many people indulge in it. They live off of it. But it's ending, and that's going to be very uncomfortable for people. And so they are the ones that have to, I mean, everybody's got to figure this stuff out for themselves. It's not like, because even if you say something that is not going to be right for every single person, because we're all so unique, which I saw a guy saying the other day, he said that he doesn't understand these spiritual people that say we are all one person, and that we're all one mind, we're one person, and that we are all just having all these different experiences, but we're really one person. Which, you know, if you go all the way up, like I said, to as far up as you could go to like what the universe is, you could think of it as being, you know, one mind, one being, and that one being is the expression of all things. where you think about like God or something, but that's really going to the micro, you know. You gotta, this is, it's like, to me, how I see it is like every cell on your body is individual. So they're all individual cells, but they're on the same body. And so, but we are individual. Like we can all see, we're very individual. Our stories are individual. Everything about us is individual. We're not all the same. We're not one person having all these experiences. I don't believe. I believe that there is some souls that have a lot of, uh, just like a gamer who can be playing different characters. Like I think that there's some of those that can play more than one character. I don't know. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. But anyways, that's how I was seeing it. And so it's like a soul that can put a whole bunch of different experience, a whole bunch of different parts of itself out there, so you can launch out these different soul vibrations out. But it has to be able to control them all. It has to be able to, so, but I do think that there is some like that. I think that there's some souls that all have like the same oversoul or something. But there's so many different levels of all this stuff, because even though we are supposedly like a partial piece of our soul and the rest of us is back up in the heavens, that you have beings that they are their whole souls. So I don't know if this whole thing is us merging into become our whole soul. So like when we get to this whatever 5D, if we haven't merged and we are become like our higher selves, which that is where anything that people can do that other people haven't done, then that's where this worship or this godlike thing comes. But no, it's if you put your energy into a godlike worship of an idol that can do something, you can't do that. It holds you back from you being able to do it for yourself. So that is something. Fuck, man, I'm out of time catching my breath. So back, I've heard this before. Back a long time ago, when everything was during like Atlantis and Lemuria or something. Like one of the places was really sciencey, and one which I heard it was Atlantis, and Lemuria was very spiritual, but they were connected. But anyways, there was a connection back then. Let me think how it was. So if you become too connected, like you just want to be connected to spirit realm all the time, then you miss out on your living experience. So it's like counterproductive. It's like, if you're going to be here, you need to focus on the experience, not be focused outside of it all the time. So, but there was a period of time where they were, because there was a focus, but then there was these beings that came that could do more things, and there became this worship. Maybe that's like back when they did like, maybe that's like how they became like pharaohs and King Tut and stuff. And maybe that's why that some of those beings like that they would put were like half cat, half person and stuff. It was these beings from other, because those feline beings, they supposedly, it's just their faces, they're humanoid kind of with the cat-like face. And there's just all these different beings that are humanoid, but they don't look like us. They look different. Like they can look like lions or, oh yeah, because there's Lyria, and those people look like lions which is kind of like a cat. But there's other ones I think that, anyways, there's the other beings and stuff, and they look different, but that doesn't mean that they're, animals or something. They're just soul. And most of them are really higher spiritually, but there was a place in there where people got disconnected from their spiritual side and became more worshipers or something. And but see, that becomes a limitation. All these things, everything is like opportunities to see, well, what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? How it happens, though. Not just like the what if, it's how it happens. We are the experiences that show how it happens, how you go this way instead of that way. And it is like the playing it out. And so, and like I said, and it's like this history repeating itself for different times and things, because there's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to learn from this once we get past it. Because even today, I was sitting there thinking how different my life would have been if I would have won in court. And it was $2 million, so she would have taken, she would have taken $1 million for sure. She would have said that, because she had to put her own money into my case, which costs a lot for having doctors come, and all this stuff costs a lot. So I know she put a lot of money into it. And this is where I think she got herself into trouble with crimes, is trying to finagle money around and using other people's money. But whatever happened, she, lost her license and practice and stuff. So, anyways, so she, if I would have won that money, she would have taken her, I think is it 60% that they get, or 40? I don't know, it's a lot. Plus all the money that they put into it. And so the people who had the thing happen to them get the least amount of money. So let's just say, whatever, I would have got $800,000. I no way would have had $2 million. I don't even know if I would have come out with $1 million. But I was thinking how different that my life would have been from that. And I was thinking, I don't know. I think it's much better the way it went. Like, it's weird, because when stuff like that happens and you're just like so like devastated and pissed off, like, how can this fucking happen? Like, what the fuck? And I'll always go to the universe, like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck is this? What am I doing here? What is it's frustrating. And so that not winning, I know I went through a period of time of being upset about it. But see, it pushed me, just like what I'm living like right now, but it pushed me to this other side of myself. And so, if I would have been like, oh, I would have got that money, I would have bought, no telling where I would have got a house. I would have probably spent money taking people on trip, and I would probably been down to, just not really having a lot of money after you buy a house. I would probably got a camper. I would have probably got a boat. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I just would have moved to New Orleans and bought a place down there. Like, I don't know. But I don't think it would have been, well, I mean, things go the way they're supposed to go. But it's funny, because when you think, like, you have an idea, well, if this happens, you'll go do this, and this will be your life and stuff like that. And when it doesn't go that way, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've envisioned shit, like, and they think, oh, it just comes to you because you sit and envision it. God, yeah, go do that then. Go for it. Go see how it works out, because I've spent a lot of fucking time doing it. And I have vision stuff. There was so much stuff that I envisioned that was going to go down at that other house, and then I'm gone from it. And it's so weird, because I know there's more playing out about it and stuff like that, but it's just, the whole thing is just, everything is weird, because you have a vision, an expectation of what you want or what you think is going to happen, and it goes completely south of that, and then there's like, what the hell? And there's always a purpose. Just like, so when I didn't win the money, And it seemed like, some bullshit, just more bullshit in this fucking world. And then, but then now, all these years later, now that I saw, what all I did, what all I proved to myself by getting that little place all out there. At the time when I got it, it was close to the one daughter. Um, but, that it was meant to go a different direction. And, but all of those things that happen are a part of the thing. So it all goes together. Like in your perception of what your experience is, those have a factor. And so me moving over there and stuff. So I moved over there, and then I couldn't afford to live in Bellingham because it's super expensive. It's right on it's kind of a strip along the ocean. So between the 5, and then you cross, see, because there's some in Bellingham on both sides of the 5, and then the water is, well, you can look at the map how it goes with Seattle, but anyways, it's like a shore kind of place. So it's expensive. And so I had to go inland, and so I had to get that little cabin place because there wasn't like a lot of places. I got 30 miles. And it was out towards the ski lift place, Mount Baker and stuff. So I had to go way out there, get this little cabin, which was when I was in my things of what I liked, it met all the things. That was the thing, too, is how it was so much of things that I liked. And it wasn't just for me sitting there envisioning it, but I had in mind of what I wanted. And I wanted little buildings and stuff. I wanted a gazebo. I wanted, a place where you sat out and ate and stuff. And they had it. It was built in. It had a fireplace. It had a table. It was built in. 10 chairs. It was all covered. Like, there was a bunch of people. Well, the women who would come over to my house, they'd be like, man, I want a thing like that. Yeah, it was super cool. And then I had another building, and then my other building. And then I put out some other ones. I really liked that place. But there was things I didn't like. Like, Stella's health has improved so much getting out of that. Like, it was so wet. I had to be so full of fungus and molds and everything. Like, it was intense over the city because it was just nonstop. It's like we were in fucking couple years of winter. Like, we had a couple of warm weeks in the winter fucking years. And so, in the wetness, it was just wet and wet and wet all the time. And then it was like way closer to neighbors than I wanted. I want more space. And I want to be around people that are more on my vibration, more of like, we see eye to eye or something. It was not like that. It was very different than that, but also, it was teaching me things too. Everything is to teach you things. But I was like, man, that experience that I got from not winning the money in court was, I mean, I can see now how much better it was for my growth, my healing, than if I would have won it and then would have went like on the easy street for a while. Because even the challenges of going and being on my own and driving myself, those were all things I had to challenge myself in order for it to grow, to be able to get back to being able to do it. I still don't think like, oh, I'd go drive down in LA through traffic and be comfortable. I'd be stressed out driving through Spokane through the traffic because it's chaos. You got people going and all these things, and it's a lot for my mind. I still have a problem even reading. I haven't tried to read a book lately, but there's something in how my eyes move or something. It makes me kind of feel dizzy. And then before, I couldn't remember like that. I could not keep up with who the characters were and stuff, and that would be like, oh my God, it was just not very enjoyable. No, I don't know. I haven't read in a while. I've got tons of books. Now they're all packed. But because at the libraries too, you can go up, because the libraries have a sale day and they'll get rid of old books and stuff. So you can get a lot of books at those. Like, I got a bag of books for like $20 or something. And like you can get a bag of, like, I like mysteries and stuff. So you can get like a whole bag of mysteries, a whole bag of ghost stories or whatever for whatever your library. So anyways, if you're like, man, I like to get books, but they're so expensive. Library, you can check them out. They're free, but they do these sale things. And a lot of times out in their little front, you know, walk-in part, they have books that they're getting rid of that you can get too. So anyways, because books are expensive, like fuck. And at a library, if there's a book that you really want to read, you can ask them and they'll get it for you. So they'll buy a book. Like if you say, oh, I really want to read this, there might be some restrictions like on their money or something, because they usually look something up about it. So if you come in with some real obscure book, I don't know. It's going to depend on your library and stuff. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen even with libraries, because they're also controlled by the government. Like, government control is going to be falling apart. I mean, it already is. And, you know, another thing I was thinking about this morning, too, was the flag thing. Because at the lunch, when I went with my mom Saturday, and then we went up to the grocery store, to the deli, and they have a little place where you can sit. It's like a little, like you go upstairs and there's a little like area you can sit and eat your stuff from the deli, like a little luncheon place, right? And so we were up there, and she was telling us about her husband's wreck and stuff, and then they started talking about religion and whatnot, and they started talking about the what they were calling the Zionists and stuff, and talking about that. And so I would say, I believe, and I don't know how that ZION, that fits in with the other, but to me, I feel like I'm more, when I hear about the Gnostic, the GNOST, I feel like I'm from that kind of philosophy or belief system or something. So that is more like in my structure, like in my DNA. So when I've lived in different times, I was more of that kind of person. So that seems to be an experience to me that I'm in alignment with, in how they think and stuff. So that, and it was a religion or something during a period of time, apparently, or it was the way, I don't really know. You'd have to look it up for yourself. It's just, I've heard it explained their beliefs and stuff, and it's like, oh, I think I'm an Gnostic for sure. So the other thing, it has something to do with, pretty sure, with the blue, and they were talking about something about the Israel, and seeing they've got all that in the Black Book, and the I don't know, because it's weird when you get into the conspiracies and stuff, then it's a lot more like a certain group of people. It took another group of people to hide behind, and that group of people became the beard for the other group of people, and that group of people, in order to not be aware of their position, was to build them up and distract them by telling them they're better than everybody else, they're chosen, and all that stuff. So it seems that there was a lot of manipulation about this whole thing. Even this whole story that they were out to be, and it's like when you start hearing some of this other stuff about the history of some of this and how they got there, how they moved from there to there, and then they started killing all these people and taking their land. It's like, they don't seem like the nice guys. Like, what? We're just gonna go take these people? They're darker than us. They don't deserve. We're gonna freaking kill them. And so there was a big thing with the some of these words you don't know what's gonna flag, but pack, and then, you know, have stand. So there's a whole thing. Like, there's a lot of war in the Middle East and stuff. Like, when you go back, like, these wars have been going on for a long fucking time. And that's why it was, irritating when they start pulling us into all this shit. But then you start seeing, like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And so, anyways, but that, it's an alliance, dedicate, I don't know, there's something about the Christians looking up to the blues or something, or I don't know. It's weird, and I'm not in their little things. I'm just listening and hearing some things, but this that conversation about them and just listening to the tone and being like, yeah, it's very much like choosing sides in a war that doesn't have anything to do with you, kind of. And so, and that's, one problem we got going. And so I was just thinking about that, but also on our walk, there's somebody that has regular American flag, but underneath is the real flag, it is real's flag. And I was like, it must be a thing too. Like, as long as you hang the American flag above that one, that you're just showing that you are in support, that you are in union or something. It's not the same as you just hanging out a different one. And I think, I was thinking about this today because I was thinking some of these people don't know what they're like. I don't know if they stopped teaching about treason, or they changed the rules or whatever in school. Like, I don't know, because definitely, like, I know that some of these things are a crime that is punishable by a squad. And so I was like, to me, it's like watching some of this play out. It's just like, what in hell are they teaching these kids? And so I don't know if it's kind of to show the fault of the education at some point. But I think, we're going to go through the most obvious criminals at first, which they're already, pulling these ones that have been doing these atrocious murders and stuff like that. Then they're going to start pulling the ones that gave support. So that we're going to start seeing because they're already falling. I mean, you got all sorts of people in power and communities that are falling right and left. And they're going to keep going and going and going. And then the ones that are going in other directions to keep exposing more stuff and get more people's attention. So it's going to keep going in different things. But but once it starts having this tedious part of, just so much death, man. It's going to be so much death. I think we're going to get so tired of it. Because it's just, there's a darkness to it, There's a healing part, but then it becomes like a dark part. And there's justice, but then there's like an indulgence in the justice, kind of, So anyways, everything will kind of, like, it's an equilibrium. It's like when you're trying to find some level, when you're putting something up and trying to level it. So it's like we have to become level. And so it's going to be, kind of shaky. But there's going to be a lot of, death that we're going to see, or it's going to be a lot of, the worst ones. And we'll be cheering and, yes, justice. And, knowing that they got what they deserved because of the horrible crimes they're involved in. But, and it's like, it's going to start getting hairy, because then they're going to start, I think, pulling in doctors, nurses, lawyers, and some of that, realtors, city council, it's going to start hitting a lot closer to home. And some people, depending on what they're involved in, some people, like, some of this stuff that's coming out, as people have got on their computers and shit, like, man, there's a lot of fucking shady people out there. It's like, give them some place to hide and they just fucking lap it up, man. So they've gone super dark. And some of those will probably meet their maker. But then there's going to be a part where it's going to get hairy, I think. And it's going to be intense. And it's going to be kind of like a lesson on different levels. So some people who are involved, they'll be learning certain lessons, and us as a viewer will be learning certain lessons. So there'll be lessons, and some people won't. You know, they'll just, that will be their thing. Close call, get your shit together kind of thing, you know. And then I think that there's gonna be a part where these college kids and stuff, some of these kids that have been out doing some of this stuff, like, it is against you can't go and take a different flag in this, under this country where it is bound under this one, march through the streets saying down with that place and up with this, like, that is like textbook TRESON. And so I feel like they're not going to be, you know, put down for it, you know, like, are going to meet their maker over it, I don't think. But I think there's going to be a part where they're going to be kind of a big lesson, like scared, and, you know, it'll be scary, like they'll see. So I think that this, once this trial thing starts, I think it's going to go on and go in waves, like, and it's going to have a lot of different stages. There's definitely going to be a stage where we're going to be tired of all of the stuff I've seen, like, you know, all of this stuff. We're going to be ready to move on. And I don't know how it's all going to go. It's like, fuck, man, I can't believe, like, this is March of 2025, and we're just like, fucking hell, man. You'd think things would be going a lot faster. And it just seems so, like, slow and tedious. Like, all fucking weekend. Ever since, I swear to God, ever since he said, well, I think we ought to go to Fort Knox, and it's just like everything slowed down. And it's like, come on, pick up the pace. Let's get over there. And where is he right now? He went somewhere else. And it's like, and we got, what was it? There's disasters going, too. There's disasters going. Don't ever think there's not some disaster going somewhere, because there's always a fucking disaster going somewhere. Fucking 3 tornadoes hit here. Fucking fires going there. It's just always some bullshit going. So I just figure some state somewhere is under some kind of national disaster, which is going to keep exposing more and more with the corruption in our state level of the money situation. Because they should all have money to do this, but they run to the government because that has always been a thing. That's why you have so many so many corrupt governors and stuff like that. Yeah, kind of like the in-betweeners. And so, anyways, I mean, at the federal level, like, those people have lost their souls. Like, but at the state level, those people are like, I don't know. Newsom just seems like such a what they are, you know. Good looking, put on a smile, know how to dress, and just have no care, no, like, his whole thing, like, telling people they can't go out, and then him going in and having that, because that keeps being what people are talking about, this big party he had, nobody wearing masks, and it's like 16,000, or could have been 61,000, 16,000, yeah, 61,000, like, that's insane. 16,000 is insane. Just the liquor bill alone. It's like, dude, you're not paying for that. I mean, we know who's paying for that shit. Fucking, probably China, really. And they just, you know, whatever the stuff is, it's like way more important to those people to have access. I mean, that could be where the scientists are at. Like, it's more giving more access to kill us, like, make us sick. So It's like that's bigger money. So I don't know. Their whole little fucking system is shenanigans, and all the people playing a part in it, they're all fucking corrupt. So anyways, we'll see all that. We'll see all them go down. And it's just so weird, like, because we got so much weird shit. Like, the sky's weird as fuck. Talking to people is like, I don't know. It's weird, man. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like being the only one awake in a dream. You know, when you're in a dream and everybody else is just, it's like they're focused on something different. And it's like this three-dimensional, it's like this splitting off, and it's all in perception. And so when their reality is very perceived through the three-dimensional and yours isn't, then I don't know. It's like being in observation. It's like watching people just go through autopilot. Just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very weird. It's very different. That was the weirdest thing, and I can't quit thinking about it. And it just keeps creating so much confusion in my mind. Like, and I keep trying to let it go, and I don't know. And I keep saying, what am I supposed to be getting from this? What am I supposed to be learning from this? And so maybe just, I'm supposed to talk about it, and then I can let it go. We'll see. But it's strange because, okay, I said before, so this, Jesus Christ, water cup. So this is, I'll do it again, probably. This is a 3-car garage, right? And it's full. Like, it's full. This is totally full. Like this, on this side, we got a fridge, which I use. Another fridge across from it, which I use. Because I didn't even, the other day, she said, oh, I have that little one out there that I put drinks in for the kids. It may be empty. I opened it up, it was empty. I was like, I'm going to put all my kombuchas and seltzers in there. So I put those in there, and then there's this hot tub here, and then all of that is shelves and storage and stuff. Then there's a door here that leads into the house, and that's where the cats are, down here. And then that whole wall is another wall of stuff, like tools and lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. And then in this space is where her car was parked. And so she pulled that out. And so this one over here, like I said, the whole thing at the front. So the first part, which it's got to be, I would say like 7 feet long, and then I don't know, 12, 14 feet across. So that car thing, that is those fucking shelves. They are Home Depot shelves, because he worked at Home Depot and they got rid of them. And so he brought them, and she had them put in here when they did this garage. And it's like professional Home Depot shelves. There's 2 of those full, full of stuff. It's got lots of stuff. And so that whole thing is full. Then back here, where you can kind of see, that is piled up with lots of stuff, man, lots of stuff. And so in between, there's like a, hoarder walkway. You just got a little walkway. And she didn't want me to use this garage door because it's the automatic one, and she didn't want to wear out by us going up and down a million times. So we have to go down to the other one over there. So we have a little hallway to get over there. And then she had set up this shelf over there on the wall with the plug. There's more walls with plugs, but every place is covered. And so that one she had cleared off a shelf and said, this is where you can do your tea and all that, your cooking and stuff. And so I have that one down there, which is a little shelf thing. And then along the edges, I have some boxes that have like my shoes and some clothes like along the edge, so it kind of makes a little space narrow between the big shelf thing and that. But so yesterday, I think it was yesterday, must have been yesterday, because this is so, just keeps going and going on my mind. I keep being like, what? So so I went up to the storage thing so I could look for a couple things. And then when I came back, I was talking, and then I said, man, it's so trippy when I look into that storage. And it's just like, man, that's everything I own now. That's it. And it is almost like, yeah, it is almost like starting over, like when you're a teenager and you first move out. But there's more history there, like, because I have all these paintings and all this stuff. So, anyways, I've got, storage unit. I think it's called a 16 by 8. Because I was even looking at it yesterday. I was like, man, maybe I should get a bigger one so I can spread myself out more, so I can go up and find it. I could even get a clothing rack and hang my clothes up in there. And but then it's like, but I don't want to get too comfortable, because I feel like this is very transitional, but I don't know the time period because it's out of my hands. And so, but it's like, but how comfortable do you want to get in this state? Because I want to be moving into the next one. I want to, this is a transitional. This isn't like setting up home. So anyways, but I was looking at the storage and I was seeing it and I was like, man, it trips me out when I look at that and think, this is everything I own now. That's it. Such a reduction. Like, it's so crazy because you go through your life building. And then at some point, well, not everybody, but at some point, some of us, then we start giving it away. And start reducing. And it's just trippy because, I mean, at this point, still, like if I bought a farmhouse, like, which I'm hoping that somehow, I know I'm going to have a house. So whatever my house is going to be, it's going to need furniture. And I don't have any. So I will be building back up again because I don't have any. I got a table, and then I've got some antique pieces, like, of my stuff. I just have a few pieces of furniture that I brought with me that were important to me. Everything else I left behind, but still my house was 650 square feet, so I didn't have a whole lot of furniture. I'd already reduced. I'd gone, I think, at one point, like, I know probably my biggest house that I had was probably 3,500 square feet, I think it was, something like that. So I had a lot of furniture. So go from that to 200 or 650, you can think of how much smaller things have got to get. So over time, because it didn't just happen in one thing, it was like every time just like moved into a smaller place, it seemed like. So anyways, there was a period of time of reduction. But anyways, the thing that trips me out was then she said, yeah, but what about you got two garage stalls full, so you got all that? And I'm like, what? What? You're talking about like my tent? I said, that would roll up. And all the rugs that I have down, like, that would roll up. That wouldn't take up any space. That wouldn't take up any room. Everything I have right now down there would stack up into a little pile. I could probably fit it in my car. Well, I couldn't fit it with the chair, and probably not with this little table. Because then she's like, well, what about the table and the TV? The TV is small. This is a little tiny TV. It's not my big ass TV. And then it's, this table is like the outdoor table, to my furniture. And my wagon and my bike. Because there was some stuff I couldn't fit in the storage, but still, I was like, how does she see this space, man? Is it just that, I'm taking up more space, so it feels like I'm taking up two things? Or does she look at it and she sees, like, I mean, how do you not see, like, I've got like a little corner all of this, like, I don't know, it just keeps tripping me out. I keep thinking, like, how is she seeing this? Maybe she was just trying to say, like, oh no, you got stuff. Don't forget about your stuff downstairs. Like trying to make me feel better, like I got very little amount of stuff or something. And I took it as like I'm crowding in her space or something. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm always thinking the dogs are crowding me in my space. I don't know, but it's something that just keeps going over and over in my mind. And I keep looking around and thinking, how do you see this is me taking two? I've got two things. There's not even two to have. I keep being like, I just don't understand. Like this perception. And that's where I started thinking, like, is our perception built more on an emotional thing? Like, is it like she's feeling crowded? Like, oh God, I wish she'd hurry up and get her own place. Why isn't she looking? Why isn't she doing more? And in me, in my perception, I'm like, I'm waiting for the universe to roll out where I'm going. Show me the money, man. Show me. And learning how to trust that the things that are meant for you come to you. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to try and make something happen because it's already set out for you. And in that space in between is where you have that feeling of like, I've got to solve the problems. I've got to figure it out. But the 3D way of thinking, that is how they think. And so when you start saying, you think in the way of like, you're letting the universe, what's yours comes to you. I don't have to force it. Like when I say stuff like that, like I'm not out looking for a camper right now. I'm not out. I did look up about mobile homes to see, like, because there's some that you can't get a loan on one that's older than 25 years or something like that, or older than 20 years. There's some cap where they won't give loans on it. And so those people will sell those for a lot cheaper because they have to sell them for cash. And so, but things are even going to go cheaper when the housing market crashes and the dollar crashes. Like things are going to go really cheap. So that's going to be one thing that's really good. But anyways, so, but to me, to go in and start focusing, that shows me my own self, my own fear, and my own not trusting the universe. And that's why I said it's like my battle right now is to learn to be able to walk through this darkness and be led by my connection towards what it is mine, or where my future, what it is, rather than to try and force it, or even spend too much time trying to envision it. Like I got to tell them what I need, like they don't know. And so, because it's set, it's like set when you come in, your whole storyline is set. And so, whatever's coming is coming, if you get what I'm saying. So, things, I was thinking, oh, I don't want to just get too comfortable. I don't want to make like, oh, this is my home forever. Make it a bigger storage, get that set up. Because I was thinking maybe I should rearrange some stuff. And, but then it's like, well, why? I don't need to get all comfortable here, which I kind of, wish I had a love seat with, like, there's a lot of things. These dogs want to crowd up on me all the goddamn time. But this little freaking nugget potato boy, he feels like he has got to be touching me all the time. And he's so needy of it. His longing eyes, his big bulging Marty Feldman eyes longing at you, longing like he getting tears and shit. Like it's really important to him. He's got his head on my lap. He's like, he really wants mama. But then he also has this domineering edge of like, when they try and get close to me, he's like, and Stella does not put up with that at all. And Archie is still like, I've seen him get up in her face and start barking. It's like, if he bites her, that is, but I got to be on his ass all the time. Like he's constantly harassing Max and stuff. So I've got to always be like, Archie, knock it off. Archie, stop doing that. And then Max has got his own issues. Still, they all have their own things. I mean, there's no perfect. Like, oh, this one's perfect. This one never has any problems. I mean, they all have some kind of thing. Like Stella can be super emotional, and she gets emotional. She just cries and cries and cries, and she wants me to figure out how to fix it. I don't even know what the hell you're crying about. But she is doing so much better health wise. Even right now, she just doesn't. She doesn't have any of those knots sticking up, and she was having so many just recently. There was a whole bunch, like black ones on her paw, and just this one. But the aloe vera, I keep it in the aloe vera, and I swear to God, the aloe vera is making a huge difference. And I've done all these things, the DMSO, the horse paste, everything, which I'm going to get some more horse paste. But right now, though, it seems like the aloe vera is really kicking ass. So I'm going to keep seeing, because it seems like it's definitely receding. It definitely seems like it's much smaller. So, but it hasn't gone, I mean, it's still like this big, and it still sticks down, but it was like really, it was really growing there for a while, or it was freaking me out. And then you see that cancer on Tommy's leg, and it's like, fuck, man. Cancer just grows and grows and grows and becomes its own little monster. You know, and he's got this fucking, it's like a rock on his leg. And it opens up, like she keeps trying to do things, you know, and it, like, all of it starts shedding, and then it'll be open, and it's like, oh my God, cancer's a bitch, man. And they fucking created this shit, man. Like, these fucking bitches. So, like, I'm telling you, there's gonna be some people we're gonna cheer, especially ones we know all the shit they've done. Gator, fucking people are gonna fucking. I think, you know, he's probably been gone a while. I think probably the other one too, which I still think, you know, it would not surprise me if he is Mengele fucking shape shifted into that body. And because there's some of these people, like, they were trying to figure out how to clone, do all that stuff for a long time ago, and they were doing it. So I don't know. That Fauci, yeah, he's a bad, bad motherfucker. He's rotten to the God. It's like he doesn't have any compassion, no caring. That guy is like, yeah, I mean, we get scared of, it's crazy, yeah, because we get scared of these serial killers. Oh, serial killers, you can guess. And they fucking the biggest murderers of all. They fucking come out of an LAB. It's fucking crazy. Like the amount of death, mayhem, and shit that they've created in the labs, man. Fuck. Millions. And we get all scared of, oh, he killed 10 people? Jesus Christ. Those motherfuckers, they've killed millions. And there seems to be some more weird shit going on with the Idaho thing. I don't know. Are they going to come out now with the other two survivors were involved or something? They were texting. I don't even know. There's so much. I mean, you got the fucking, that Frankie chick, whatever the hell her name is. They're Kate Hildegard, the lesbian psychologist, who I think there's way too much weird shit with mind control. You, and it's not like every single counselor, but it is a definite filter system. There's definitely people looking for certain minds to master. There's definitely shit going on. It's above your pay grade, you know, things you don't even think about that are happening in this world. And so, I don't know, there's gonna be a lot of stuff being exposed. But yeah, the worst people, way worse than, you know, these people, because, you know, yeah, they're torturing and stuff. But these people, I mean, we're being slow torture, slow sickness, fast growing, like all this stuff, you know, it's torture. So these people are beyond. It's funny how they've been arresting these crazy criminals and stuff. Well, I'll go bribe back to back with these fucking crazy fucking people who work at these LABs, carry these titles that people respect, like scientists bullshit. Like, fuck these people. The ones that are, I mean, there's some, obviously who really wanted to help people, but there's a whole pay grade of like, oh, we can make money off doing it this way? Hell yeah. So they went in the direction that you get paid the most is the most damage that you can do to us. So, anyways, yeah, well, that part will be cheering. But anyways, back to, the manifesting, going towards the life of your dreams. As far as I can see, that it is this, it's like the ultimate in trusting. It's just going towards it, and all the things that happen on the path to help you. Because like I said, like if I would have won that money in the court case, I would have went in a completely different way, and it wouldn't have been in this healing. I don't know what would have happened, how it would have played out. If I was meant to heal and I was meant to have that money, maybe I would have been losing all of that. That would have, or somebody fucking me over, because I don't know that I had good boundaries and stuff. Then I was way more fresh out of my um, brain injury. This was before my healing, because it was really weird how it even happened. Because I feel like number 4 was holding on. Like he thought, because at first when we got together and I was a nurse, but then everything fell apart because I'd already had my brain injury, and it was closer to me being diagnosed and losing my license. So right there, he was like, yeah, now I got a dud. I wanted a nurse that was going to take care of me, and now I got this fucking chick. And so then I think he held on because for, well, she could win some money. Where my daughters, there's a couple daughters, he thought he was poisoning me and trying to kill me, which nothing would surprise me. And so I feel like he was holding on about the money and stuff. And because he brought it up too much, he talked about it too much. And he was always, he was always so worried that the kids were going to get my money. And so it was way too much of him focusing on it. And then he left me because that was my gift from the universe. At the time, though, it felt like a gut punch, because it was like, all the shit I put up with you, and you leave me? Like, what? But that was, what tossed me out of my patterns, what made me see the light. And I was like, oh man, I'm glad the way. It's so weird because the way things work out sometimes, it's like, what the fuck? But then when you see, like, oh God, it really was good. So, so then once he had left, though, it was only a few weeks, and I got notified that I got a court date. And I was like, what the hell? That is crazy. Because he wouldn't have access to that now. And so that is when I started feeling like the timing and stuff was so crazy, because it was like it's 6 or 8 weeks till my court date, and we were split up. And let me think where I was in my healing. I don't remember. I don't think, because it was only a few weeks. So it was just like it was still fresh on the split. Nothing had been solved or anything. And I don't think I told him. I don't remember. I don't think he knew I had this court date coming. But that's when I wanted to talk to my dad. That's when I got the friend of mine that was the medium to talk to my dad, because I felt like he had a part in that he had done something from the other side or something. Because I was like, this is so crazy over the timing. But so that is when I got the medium, talked to my dad, and that's where I found out, this place where he was at, what he was going through, which I can only perceive it as purgatory. It's like a space. You can't just go up into the heavens when you're carrying this dark energy out. And so it's like a space in between of where you got to heal and let things go. And so he was there, and he was angry. And so it was, and she was kind of scared talking to him. And she could see a lot of things, and it was, she was kind of scared. So then I said, well, let's talk to my grandparents while you're here then, if you got time. And so she's like, yeah, sure. So I went and got pictures of them. And so because you have to have something that's theirs, a picture of them or some kind of thing. So I went and got my little things and I gave them to her. And she started connecting. That's when I found out that my grandpa, it's his dad who's with me all the time. It's his dad who was, and then I started getting other visions later on of my connection to my grandpa in other lives. And so, yeah, I mean, he wasn't my grandpa in another life, he was my dad. And so I saw other connections and stuff. And that's when my grandmas came in and I got to talk to them and find out more stuff. And there was more things I learned from that. Because also, like, even when I asked my grandma if she was with my grandpa, if they were together. And she said, no, it's not like that up here. It's not like, you're a couple there and then you go up there and you stay a couple. It's not like that. It's more like you come down here to experience being a couple. Up there, you're not. And then, my one grandma, who was the more grumpy one, how had this whole funny side, and how she was saying that she was, if I wanted, she would go haunt my ex, number 4. She was going to go and haunt him. They did not like him, with good reason. And, I'm telling you, I was at the bottom of I was reaching my rock bottom. That was my rock bottom. And yeah, they didn't like him at all. But you got to remember, you've got your grandparents and relatives around watching, who you interact with, who will you put up shit with, and it's not in judgment. It's not like they're just judging you, but they see it from a different perspective. And they can see, when you're not caring for yourself, when other people are walking all over you and stuff. So anyways, there was a lot of weird stuff with the timing, and I kept thinking, oh, I was going to win. And I was, in my mind, spending the money on this, getting my house, all that stuff. and it didn't. And now I see, like, there were so many things. Like, she ended up being busted for all this corruption and stuff. Like, she would have maybe stolen more of the money or something. I don't know. But it wasn't supposed to play out that way. And then the way it played out did lead me to my most independent and a healing time period of my life. Because, I had to really, try and figure out how to get a place after losing. I had a lot of foreclosure, so I lost my house and then lost my job, lost my license, then moved into his and lost that. And it was like, I'm never going to get a loan or anything. and I was used to having good credit, getting, like way back, even when I very first started on credit cards, I had one that was $10,000. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, how do you get a credit card? It's $10,000." But I had a good job and I paid my stuff and everything. So, and I had several of those, and so, like I lived a completely different lifestyle, and so then, I had to change things up a lot. And then when I went and I had to do all these different things to get that house, how I got the loan, which I don't even know. Things fall together the way they're meant to fall together. And I got the loan to get that house out there, and it needed so much work and stuff. And so I started doing as much as I could myself. I was doing all these things, which was showing me all the things I could do, especially after being with people who would tell you that, you were such a, you didn't know how to do this. I couldn't even paint a room without I painted a whole motherfucking house and 3 goddamn buildings. I did more work before that. That wasn't the first time, but that time was when I was totally on my own, because there was definitely, when I was with number 4, he was more of a mindset, well, if I'm going to be working, you're going to be working. If I'm going to be painting, you're going to be painting, which was very different than number 2. Number 3, he was like, no, let's just do a vacation. Why would we paint? Let's go have fun. Number 4, though, he was like, well, if I'm going to do this, you're going to do it. So everything You know, I would do everything. But there, it was like a different dynamic. It was once I went and was on my own, it was doing it for me and learning about me and stuff. It was like a complete growth. It was a complete, and there was so much healing and stuff. So, anyways, when you're sitting there questioning things like, why is something going this way? Why is something going that way? When you get further, farther, you just see it so much more clearly. You see so much like, fuck, I would have not thought that I would have looked at it as like not winning that money was a good thing. And now, totally, I do. And I've been putting all of this energy out and out and out. And so what you put out comes back to you. So that's a universal law. What goes out comes back to you, but you also, you know, it's in it isn't like an instantaneous thing. And at this period of time, it seems like we have a lot of cock blocking, like the dark is cock blocking us the whole way. And so, but the energy wave is going to come in and it's going to, you know, like a tsunami of light is going to come in and it's going to push all of, you know, what you've been putting out is going to push it to the surface. So I know good things are going to start happening. I know, you know, I'll get a great house. I know everything good will start happening. But, you know, it's just, it can feel tedious though. It can feel like, you know, I need to step in, I need to control it, I need to force it, I need to do this, I need to do that. But I really, really believe it's way more of you need to learn how to trust, especially when it seems like it's at its darkest, it's at its hardest. That you got to learn how to just trust and let things happen in natural order, because everything is set out for you. So, anyways, now it's 1:21. So you'll see if you can see this little monster face. He goes, man, when he goes gremlin, you should see how different he looks. Like his mouth, his eyes, he just totally changes his whole look, and he can't, he's like, he goes so crazy. And this is like, he goes from one thing to the next. A little, but he's a cute little, needy little thing. Anyways, so, you know, me and the dogs living here in our tent until the universe shows me the way, show me the money, bring me to where I'm going, and you know, the people around me, I can look like, you know, well, you got to do more, you got to be making it, you got to do that. But I really don't think so. I really believe 100% that it's already there. I'm just not to where it is, but it's already there. It's already on my road. One time, number two, the one I spent the 15 years with. One time he said something that I thought was really so true, is that the older version of you is always waiting ahead for you to get there. The younger version of you is, you know, on the track, goes on the path to the older version of you. But the older version of you is always waiting there for the younger version of you. And so that's like the same thing to me. It's like those things are always just waiting there for me. I'm just not there yet. Once I get there, and I don't know what all the things are that I have to endure or go through or whatever to get to where I'm going. You know, sometimes it can seem like, well, what in the hell? What more? That's the kind of like the Bible story of Job or whatever, you know, like, what more do I have to do? How long is this going on? And so, you know, I feel that, and I know that there's a purpose behind it. There's a reason. And it is, the only thing I get out of it is it's this building more trust, building more of your relationship with the universe. And it's not just to stay focused in this other world, like, you know, it's about finding balance. It's about enjoying this one and knowing that you have this stuff that's set out for you, and not getting caught up in this other, trying to control it. And I don't know. Now I've got the time on my mind, so it's uh I don't know. I don't even know if anything I ever say makes sense. I don't know. I would just sit here and ramble. Some people think so. So, I don't know, you enjoy listening to my rambles or you don't, I guess. But anyways, that's how I see it. And I don't think that it's productive for me to just sit, stay in meditation and just focus on telling them what it is that I need to be happy. I need this house to be this big and have that many, you know what I mean? It's like getting too much into the details and the expectation. It's like being a lot more like, you know what I like. Bring me what I like, and letting them surprise you, and then not trying to force it because all the times while you're trying to force it, that becomes your lessons. That becomes the stories. So, uh, letting go and just letting it flow. It just seems like it opens it up, to get there, even though you've got to overlook, everyone else's view of you. But really, if you get up to that dock and you anchor on, then that's going to show everybody, like, whoa, she wasn't forcing it. Look at, well, that's pretty cool. So, there's lessons for everyone through all of this stuff. Anyone who's watching, like I said, we can always learn through observation. And, there does seem to be things that can pull a lot of eyes on you. And I know there's tons and tons of people going through different losses and stuff. Like they lose one job and they immediately like, I gotta get out there, I gotta find this other job. But, maybe, you'd be in a store and somebody would start talking about something and all of a sudden they say they got a job. But instead of just letting the flow go and letting things come to you, you start panicking and start trying to force into another one. Then you get another one and it's just as shitty as the other one because you're not letting the truth come to you. You're not letting what's there for you come to you. You keep trying to be in control. If you get what I'm saying, like it makes so much sense to me, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if I'm making sense saying it. So, anyways, let's just look at my tooth and end this conversation because I just feel all like it's just so, I don't know, but everything is so weird to me right now. But I do feel tired. I do feel kind of like out of it. So, anyways, my tooth is feeling really sensitive too. Uh, but it keeps healing. Like, keeps getting more. I mean, that big black hole is gone and it just keeps healing. So I believe that it is growing back, even though it seems kind of slow. I believe my hair is turning, even though this bit seems kind of slow. But anyways, from where I've come and where I'm at, I think that there's a big change. So, anyways, but in all of these things, all this stuff, all the realizations and stuff like that, the primary thing that I believe all of this has to do with is learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everyone, and how to have a loving day because it's totally up to you. The day you have is the energy you're putting out, what you focus on. So focus on the positives, try and see the good things, see the blessings, even when things don't make sense, and make it the best day you can. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.